We're back here at District 6 Stadium in Greeley as the Fort Morgan Mustangs lead the Northridge Grizzlies 16-6. Fort Morgan football is brought to you by Premier Farm Credit, committed to serving those in production ag. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending.
Yeah, nice evening out here. Clear skies, a beautiful moon, a little bit of a chill as fall is definitely in the air. You know, but so far, Alex, we haven't really. Last week we had a little bit of rain, but we haven't had any moisture at all, any snow, anything that's really bad.
You can feel a little bit of humidity in the air, and that might just be coupled with the cold air, but a little bit of humidity in the air here as we're kind of in a little bit of a valley, so the humidity will settle in where we're at here. But it is just a chill. No wind, really, to speak of, as the Mustangs face a 3rd and 4 play. The give goes to Alexander, who will go off the right side, and he will be right at the first down sticks. We'll see where the officials spot him. The clock has been stopped.
It's definitely 4-down territory here if he doesn't make the first down.
The official's taking a long look at it, and now he will call over the chain gang to walk all 6 feet that it is to the football. From where the ball is spotted, he couldn't eyeball it from 6 feet, so.
Here at Northridge at District 6 Stadium in Greeley, the chain gang's done by volunteers, and they were calling at the beginning of the game, as you mentioned, for volunteers. Still looks like maybe they only have 3 guys over there running the chains, but doing a good job in first down Fort Morgan.
So the nose of the football gets just past the sticks, and Alexander will pick up that first down. Will spot the football at the 18-yard line.
Fort Morgan taking their time in the huddle. Again, time is on their side.
The clock, we've seen 20 seconds go here in the 4th quarter. Heavy backfield now for Martins under center. He'll turn and hand the ball to Bohm, who's in the game at running back. It could be Fadoa. Hard to see as they're on that far sideline. Well, we'll give that carry to Bohm.
It was a nice carry of 8 yards down to the 10.
So the 10-yard line where the football will be spotted, as Kevin said, Anderson spread to this near side for Martins, who's under center in the I formation. The give will go to Alexander, who will run right and be stood up by a number of tacklers. He'll be down close to the 5-yard line. He'll definitely have the first down after the 2nd and 2 play.
Real nice gaining some yards after contact. There were 4 or 5 Northridge kids, and he just kind of carried the scrum all the way down.
It'll be a 1st and goal play from the 5-yard line. As the clock now dips under 11 minutes, with the Mustangs trying to add to their 16-6 lead. Anderson spread to this near side, man spread to the far side, I formation for Martins. Under center, he will turn and give the ball to Fitzsimmons, who dances his way, and he'll be close to the goal line. He had a big hole to run through on the right side, but he will be stopped just shy of the goal line, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 4-inch line, we'll call it.
Yeah, very close there. It would have been nice to see Fitzsimmons get a score. He's not as much of the offense as he was earlier in the year, but Alexander and Miranda have really come on as the season has progressed.
We'll see if Miranda gets the call here, as he is the big fullback. He does get the football. He dives across the goal line and in for the touchdown for the Mustangs. Miranda caps off that drive. A 28-yard drive that started back in the 3rd quarter. And again, we'll see the swinging gate here for Fort Morgan, as it has Miranda behind the line of scrimmage over by the sideline. Martins will stay in. Miranda will get the carry, and he will fight off a few tacklers and then get in as another 2-point conversion goes in, pushing the score to 24-6. The Mustangs lead with 9:54 remaining in the game. You're listening to Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. Mustang Football brought to you by Northern Colorado Title. For all of your title needs, visit Tim Weimer at Northern Colorado Title at 205 West Kiowa in Fort Morgan. 9:54 showing on the clock here as the air gets a little bit colder, and as that air gets colder, it starts to run away from the sails of Northridge as they're down 18 points here.
Yeah, not the kind of homecoming game that they were planning earlier this summer when they were picking out Fort Morgan as their opponent.
24-6 our score here as Frick has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. He'll be kicking to the north. A low line drive kick end over end that will elude the return man for Northridge, bounce into the end zone and go for the touchback. So really the only thing you can do there, as Northridge's kickoff returns have been pretty good against this Fort Morgan kick coverage. And the touchback really helps out there.
I think we'll see Fort Morgan's defensive secondary challenged in the last 9 minutes of the game, as Northridge really has no choice but to pass, and that's the only place that they found any success so far tonight.
Which doesn't really bode well if you are the Mustangs, that Northridge has been able to pass the ball somewhat effectively, and you know that's what they're going to have to do. So this could play into the strength of Northridge as Fulton drops under center, but before the play happens, we'll see another flag as he was looking to pass that time on the first down play from the 20-yard line. But the false start will negate that and move the Grizzlies back 5 yards.
Yeah, no one told Fulton or the receiver that the whistle had blown, and the receiver made a nice catch and was headed downfield for a score. But Fort Morgan had quit trying as the penalty had been thrown.
Playing to the whistle is Fort Morgan. And they heard the whistle, and they quit playing. Two men spread to this near side, one to the far side, one man in the backfield for Fulton looking to pass again, going deep down the far sideline for his receiver, and it will fall incomplete. The intended man that time, Francis, but the pass will fall short, and we'll see a 2nd and 15 play.
Yeah, the receiver had an opportunity to catch that. The defender, with his back to the quarterback, didn't see the ball coming. The receiver just couldn't make a good enough adjustment to get back.
Mustang Football brought to you by West Tech Rentals. Whether you're a contractor or homeowner, West Tech Rentals is your source for rental equipment and landscaping materials. Northridge breaks the huddle. Fulton again will look to pass as he rolls to the far side. He's got Cunningham, who tips the tackler, breaks another tackle, is across the 45 down to the 50 before being brought down by Fort Morgan. A good catch and run that time by Cunningham.
Yeah, he just came out of the backfield and ran out to the flats, and they had the wide receivers downfield blocking, and a couple missed tackles by Fort Morgan. Oh, but there's a penalty back there at the 30-yard line. Let's check that.
We'll see what the cause of the flag was. The quarterback from Northridge, Fulton, looking into the officials' conference, trying to figure what's going on, as now we hear the band's really starting to get into it, the drum line going on. We'll see what the man in the white hat has to say, the head official walking towards the middle of the field. Personal foul against Fort Morgan. Trying to decide if the penalty yardage will be worth, from the spot, will be worth more than the play itself. Oh no, they're going to tack it on at the end of the play. So that will move the ball deep into Fort Morgan territory, as that play goes from the 15-yard line of Northridge's territory all the way down to the 36-yard line of Fort Morgan territory on the one play and the penalty. Now Fulton's in the shotgun again. Two men spread each direction, one man flanking him in the backfield. He receives the shotgun snap, will turn and look to throw this way. Throws it in between two of his receivers that time, as both Michael Graff and Bradley Marks were in the vicinity.
Yeah, that pass before going for 33 yards and then tacking on the 15-yard penalty. Now Northridge in business at the 36-yard line.
Second and 10, 8:52 and counting on the clock here. Again, Fulton in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz from the quarterback. It is sniffed out from Fulton, who looks down the field, throws, and it is caught but bobbled before Graff could come down inbounds. Actually, a very excellent call from the official as Graff initially had it in his hands but did not control the football before he landed down out of bounds.
Nice effort by Graff and a really nice effort by Fulton avoiding the rush and running all the way to almost to the sideline and almost to the line of scrimmage, and at the last minute throwing that bullet right on target.
That was a pretty accurate throw for throwing on the move out of Fulton. Same formation for Fulton, who slips a little bit as he goes back to his drop. The pass will be caught by Bradley Marks that time on this near sideline. They'll give him forward progress to the 42-yard line, and it'll be 4th down and 7. Well, they'll call it 4th down and 6 here at the stadium after the completed pass. So we've seen now 6 plays run on this drive, all of them pass plays, and Northridge will go for it again in the shotgun as Fulton looking to the near side. The ball's knocked free, and it's going to be jumped on and recovered by Fort Morgan back at the 45-yard line. The ball comes free. I'm not sure who knocked it out of Fulton's hand, but it will be Fort Morgan football as T.J. Schneider comes out of the pile with the football. And Fort Morgan avoids seeing the Grizzlies add any more points here. Granted, the 4th down play, it's almost like a punt, except for you're in a little worse position here for Northridge, if you're Northridge faithful. The 45-yard line is where Fort Morgan will spot the ball with 7:45 remaining in the game. Martins will turn and hand the ball off to Alexander, swarmed under before even getting back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a couple yards on the play, back to the 43-yard line.
What Fort Morgan needs now is just a nice 7-minute drive. It doesn't really matter if they get into the end zone, if they can just take off 7 minutes running the ball and taking 3 downs to get first down. But on that play, the Northridge defender broke through the offensive line and met Alexander before he could get any forward momentum.
Anderson spread to this near side, a man spread to the far side. 2 men in the backfield in the I formation for Fort Morgan. Martins goes under, will fake the give to Bowman at fullback. Now looking to throw as he's off to the far sideline. He'll tuck it and carry it himself. He passed the line of scrimmage, get past the initial line of scrimmage, and will be brought down after a gain of 3. But the loss on the previous play will make this a 3rd and 9 play.
Yeah, there just wasn't anything open for him downfield. Would have been nice to have been able to stay in bounds, but he did get out of bounds, and that stops the clock and helps Northridge.
Clock does stop at 6:46 now. Both sides still have all 3 timeouts remaining. As now Fort Morgan will really spread the field with 4 wide receivers. Now a man comes in motion. That's Fitzsimmons. Martins will turn and throw in the flat to Fitzsimmons, who catches the ball, crosses the 15 to the 45 to the 40. He's in a foot race across the 30 down to the 25. And he'll be to the 24, 23-yard line. So a big play that time on 3rd down. No flags on the field, I don't believe. There is a flag on the field down here at the 45-yard line. We'll see what this is. A holding call against Fort Morgan, so we'll negate the play as another big play comes back from a silly penalty for Fort Morgan here tonight.
Well, it was a well-conceived play. Fort Morgan had Fitzsimmons come out of the backfield, the 2 wide receivers go down and block. Unfortunately, one of them got a hold of a jersey or got the block outside the shoulders. I think you had mentioned earlier that the defense that Northridge is running, it's not a very honest defense. They've got single coverage on each of the receivers and no safety deep. Now they went into a 2 deep. But earlier they had no safety, and that was the perfect play for that position.
So a 3rd and 12 play now after the previous play negated from the holding penalty. Martins has 3 men to the far side. He'll look to run that way. No, it's a draw play inside to Alexander, who gets the delayed handoff, comes back to this near side as Martins tried to stretch the field to the far side. And he'll cross the 46-yard line, Will Alexander, before he's swarmed under of his own territory, the 46 of his own territory. The clock does keep moving, and the punting unit will come out here for the Mustangs.
Yeah, a good play. Let's play it safe, not throw it up. That way, just punt and put them back in their deep in their field position.
Swetzig will come in. Remember, his last punt partially tipped. He has no problems getting this one away. It'll be fielded at the 18-yard line, and immediately the player will be swarmed under as Ewan Hernandez first had his hands on him, but the return man for Northridge, that's Cunningham, was able to sidestep that tackle. But 2 other Fort Morgan defenders on coverage were able to bring him down. So with 5:35 remaining in the game, the score 24-6. Fort Morgan leads. Northridge will take over the football just inside their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's nice to see the special teams come through and pin Northridge down deep in their own territory.
Fulton again will go into the shotgun. He looks to pass to the far side. He has his man complete, and his man will step out of bounds. That is Francis on the reception after gaining 8 yards. It'll be a 2nd and 2 play. Cody Davis credited with ushering Francis out of bounds. So again, we'll see quick hurry-up offense here from Northridge as they need to score points quickly. The pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage and will fall incomplete. This time as, again, Fulton looking to that far sideline for his man Francis.
Yeah, Fort Morgan defender, as they were rushing in, got the hand up. You know, Fort Morgan's linemen have their ears pinned back, and they are on the starting blocks, rushing hard. Maybe a screen pass or a draw might work for Northridge because really Fort Morgan's got nothing to lose but rushing the passer at this point.
The only benefit to that pass play is the clock operator here really is just not doing their job very well. As the clock started on the referee's play clock start, not doing his own team any favors, as now the clock reads 5:02. Northridge does gain the first down, even though after the incompletion it should not have started, and 14 seconds run off on what should have been a 5-second play. Again, Fulton will drop back to pass, looking at this near side. He's got Graff, who will slide and make the catch at the 40-yard line of his own territory. And that will be just short of another first down. I mean, just short of another first down.
And they're in the hurry-up.
As Fulton throws to this near side, it'll glance off of his man 10. That's Bradley Marks, who couldn't haul it in. And the clock will stop at 4:35 remaining.
3rd and short, you kind of expect a run to get the first down and stop the clock momentarily, and then Northridge will be up on the ball, ready to go.
So the 39-yard line is where the ball is spotted on this near hash. Fulton will keep it himself on the quarterback keeper through the middle of the line. He'll have enough for the first down. That will stop the clock. 4:24 now showing on it. The Mustangs still lead 24-6 here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't think they have the time to keep running.
Ball spotted at the 41-yard line, and Fulton will be swarmed under and sacked. Brought down for a big loss. TJ Schneider recording his sack, his 3rd on the season.
Fort Morgan's defense again coming through to save the day.
And now it is 2nd and forever back at the 30-yard line. But a good play call here as Northridge has a lot of room. That is Cook with the ball. He crosses the 50, stays in bounds, though. They'll stop the clock for the first down as he picks up 22 on that carry. The 2nd and 20 play.
Yeah, it was a nice little play like we talked about earlier, a screen or a draw against this defense that's just in a hurry to get to Fulton.
46-yard line now of Mustang territory as Fulton drops back to pass, looking to the far side. The pass will be dropped. It'll be an incomplete pass as Francis was unable to come back for the ball and recept it. It will be 2nd down and 10 from the 46.
Yeah, Northridge desperate now to try and get a score, but even if they get the score, how are they going to get 18 points in 3 minutes?
All but impossible. You'll have to hope for the onside kick if you do get points here. A blitz coming from the Fort Morgan defense. Fulton steps up, crosses the 40 to the 35, comes to this near sideline, steps out of the tackle, and then is met hard as he gets to the 30-yard line. Fulton with the keeper after the blitz breaks down his protection, gets to the 30-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 there with 3:18 on the clock.
Yeah, dangerous play by Fulton. He spun around, and a Fort Morgan defender got a good, clean shot on his back.
Again, Fulton in the shotgun. He'll be hit as soon as he throws the football. An inadvertent whistle that time, as Miranda had a play on that ball, but the inadvertent whistle blows the play dead, the incompletion. And it'll be 2nd and 10. It'll be a replay of the down.
That's not anything that I've ever seen before.
It will be a replay of the down because of the inadvertent whistle, even though it would have been an incomplete pass. So Northridge gets another life, but it doesn't matter as Cody Cook receives the ball in the backfield. It doesn't go anywhere. And now we've got some extra pushing and shoving as Schneider is involved with Fulton after the play. 3 flags come out. You can almost bet that unsportsmanlikes are going to come here. So a little bit of not keeping your head. Harrison Chisholm out there trying to make sure his players keep their heads here. They don't want to give away this game. So it's a strange couple happenings here. The last couple plays.
I'm not sure what happened. It all of a sudden looked like the whistles were blowing and a Fort Morgan kick just finished the tackling and put a Northridge kid to the ground. But flags came from everywhere.
So we have the dead ball, unsportsmanlike, against Fort Morgan. And that is the only foul that will be called. That'll be a 10-yard version, I believe. They'll mark off 15 for that play, so it negates the loss on the run that time. And now it'll be 1st, even though it should be 2nd down. Now it will be 2nd down now.
I believe it should be an automatic 1st down on a unsportsmanlike or a personal foul. But maybe they've changed that rule since I used to play.
And now Jeff Fulton, the head coach for Northridge, pleading to the officials to try and get this sorted out. Really not the officials' finest hour right here, as there's been an inadvertent whistle, some penalties that needed to be sorted out. Granted, the play was dead, and Schneider deserved that penalty. I didn't see if he was pushed or not, but if he wasn't pushed, he deserved that penalty. It was after the play, and he did land on a player. And now the officials have sorted it out. They've decided that it is 2nd down, and it will be 4 yards to go for the 1st down, which is just inside the 20-yard line. Fulton in the shotgun. He'll drop back, look to pass to this near side, has his man, that's Graff, who cuts across through the middle of the field. He'll be wrapped up and finally brought down, but not before getting to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, this will be somewhat of a moral victory for Northridge. They really, with 2 minutes left, down by 18, don't have any chance of having 3 possessions and winning.
And now we'll see a timeout called by Fort Morgan as Harrison Chisholm needs to calm down his team and remind them that even though they have this lead, it's not worth giving it away here. So Chisholm sprints out to the field and will ask the official here. We'll step aside as well. You're listening to Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. Mustang Football brought to you by Bijou T-Quest. Stop by 302 Main Street, Fort Morgan. Letter jackets, T-shirts, banners, and more. They're also your local experts customizing your team's sports apparel. So with 2:41 showing on the clock here in the fourth quarter, the Mustangs lead 24-6, but the Grizzlies are on the 5-yard line looking to score. Fulton will remain in the shotgun coming out of the timeout. 2 men spread to this near side, 2 men spread to the far side, a man flanking him. That's Cook in the backfield. Fulton drops back to pass, looking to the far side. Will throw it up for Francis, and 2 flags come out. Francis makes the catch, I believe, but I think they're going to get Francis for pass interference. Just to put this into perspective here, that toss-up play was between a 6'2" wide receiver in Francis and a 5'7" cornerback in Cody Davis. Height advantage definitely goes to Francis, but I think he was used some illegal practices. No, they'll call Fort Morgan for the pass interference play. The ball must not have been caught. So we'll move the football as a half a distance penalty to the 2.5-yard line now. And it'll remain first and goal. The pass fell incomplete. Again, they're going to look to that same spot. And this time it is incomplete. Oh, a Fort Morgan defender looked like they had that one coming down. Played much better that time. I thought it was picked off. It's on that far side, but it will fall incomplete, and now we'll see a third and goal, or check that, a second and goal play now from the 2-yard line.
And now it looks like maybe they're going to their heavy team, and they're just going to run it in.
So after running 2 fade patterns, we'll see what Northridge has dialed up here. Fulton looking to the sideline to try and get the play. And now we'll see the teams are all lined up. Jeff Fulton, the Northridge head coach, running out to talk to the officials. They're finally catching on. With 2 minutes, 17 seconds left, we'll see what they change it to. They are finally catching on to the mismanagement of the clock up here in the booth. I'm surprised it hasn't caught Northridge. Nobody said anything yet. They'll add 3 seconds. It'll be 2:20. The clock will not start this time. It's just the play clock that starts. And Fulton will turn and hand it to Cunningham, and he'll be stood up right at the line of scrimmage and be brought down just inside the 1-yard line. The clock continues to run, and it will be below 2 minutes before the next play is run by Northridge.
Yeah, I think maybe at this point it's a battle of wills, and Northridge conceding defeat, just trying to establish something on their running game.
Northridge has a man spread wide, 3 men in the backfield, 2 fullbacks, taking their sweet time on this play. Fulton will try to keep it himself, and he will be denied. It looks like the officials from the far side coming in. The head coach, Fulton, coming in to call a timeout. And so the ball will be spotted at the 1-inch line. They'll say forward progress was stopped at the 1-inch line. Folks, it is the nose of the football has to be resting on the goal line right now. But with the timeout, the clock stops at 1:32, and it'll be a 4th and goal play from the 1-inch line.
I don't know about you, Alex, but I'm having a really hard time following this game with the clock operator running the clock or not running the clock, the coach yelling, the officials calling timeouts. I don't really know what's going on here, but I do know that it's a physical challenge, 4th down and inches.
Mustang Football is brought to you by Insurance Connection. Whether it's health, life, or dental insurance, or Medicare supplement, see Sharon Kaufman at Insurance Connection. So we'll try again from the 1-inch line now as Robert Fulton will go under center, turn, hand the ball off to the deep back Cunningham, who jumps over and into the end zone for the touchdown. Jeff Fulton, the head coach for Northridge, signaling 1 on the sideline as Northridge will go for one here and attempt to make the game a 24-13 game. So Cunningham with the 1-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, they need to score 2 more touchdowns and at least get an extra point on one of them to win this game.
Fernando Perez comes in to kick. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 1:22 remaining on the clock, we'll look for the onside kick would be my guess. Northridge probably not going to bow out that easily. But we'll have to wait for that when we come back. You're listening to Mustang Football on B106 at B106.com. Now we see Northridge's hands team come out and Fort Morgan's hands team out there as well. As on this near side here, I see Fitzsimmons, Davis, Hernandez, Sweatzig out there as well. As Perez has the ball teed up, and he will try the onside kick. And it will be fielded by Hernandez. But we have a flag. Generally, when it comes from the far official at the 40-yard line, it means they were offsides.
Which sometimes means it's a dead ball foul and Fort Morgan doesn't have an opportunity, and Northridge will get another opportunity to kick from 5 yards farther back.
Can't you just decline that penalty?
I think because it's high school football, as soon as they're offsides, it's a dead ball foul, just like on defensive play.
That is true, so move the ball back to the 35-yard line. Move Fort Morgan's defenders up 5 yards. Oh, no.
The last time he kicked it right to number 4, Ulysses Hernandez, and he did a really good job of just fielding it, keeping it.
Now I have no idea what's going on, as one of the side officials has made the indication as to what the foul was. And now he said that Fort Morgan has declined the penalty. They will take the ball over at the 45-yard line, even though that is not where they fielded it.
Yeah, they fielded it back at
their own 45.
And now they're back to punt or kicking again.
Oh, so a rough night here for the men in stripes. Just a rough night. All of the officials involved, the clock operator, the men in stripes. It has been almost comical, folks. It's hard to say. Regardless, 24-13 the score. We'll see Northridge try another onside kick here, this time from the 35-yard line. Perez will put it into the hands of bounces loose, and it'll be recovered by Northridge.
2 Fort Morgan kids had a chance at that ball. It slipped through both of their hands. And Northridge is still alive with 1:15 left, but they're on life support, Coach.
46-yard line will be the spot of the ball of Fort Morgan territory. So the onside kick works after the offside penalty has to be accepted, apparently. And now Northridge has some more life in this game with 1:15 remaining to play. Fulton drops back in the shotgun. He will throw as he's hit, and he will throw only to a Fort Morgan defender who will intercept it, and he will be brought down inside the 18-yard line. So a prayer that time laid up by Fulton. Didn't catch the number of the player who came down with it for the Mustangs.
I tell you what, Fulton, for sure, he's going to be one sore football player tonight. He just got creamed as he let go of that ball, and that's about the 5th time that he took a major hit.
So Fort Morgan now, they have to run the ball as there's 1:04 left, but Northridge still has 2 timeouts, so it's important to gain yards. Alexander gets the give off the right side, and Northridge will call one of their 2 remaining timeouts when the clock just dipping below 1 minute left to play here. We'll step aside, take a quick break. You're listening to Mustang Football on B106 and B106.com. We're back inside the circus hall that is District 6 Stadium at this point, as I believe The Northridge coach has just received another unsportsmanlike penalty coming out of a timeout.
Yeah, after the timeout, as he was walking back, he turned to the official, said something. The official, for emphasis, threw the flag about 30 feet in the air, and the coach pleaded with the side judge as he came over, but you just can't say things to an official. They've got a job to do. Yes, the game's been kind of handled roughly, but they really haven't, there hasn't been anything that's been let go. You just don't take your frustration out in front of your kids against the official. That's something that Coach Fulton's going to need to work on in the off season, I'm guessing.
We can understand the frustration as his team hasn't been in many games, and they're in this one, to say the least, though their chances of remaining in it are fading. As the Mustangs lead 24-13, the officials have their conference. We'll see what the flag was about. A dead ball, unsportsmanlike, against Northridge.
The coach has got
and he's been ejected.
I was going to say, he's got to be careful, because once he gets ejected now, I don't know if it's like a player that he won't be able to participate, but I know he's going to have to be writing a letter to the chairman of CHASA explaining why his behavior was what it was. And those aren't good situations for a coach.
So with the penalty, now Jeff Fulton, the head coach for Northridge, will be politely asked to leave the sideline. He'll have his 2 cents to add to it. Regardless, the ball will be spotted now at the 35-yard line after another unnecessary penalty. I don't understand how you can do that as a coach. You're taking the game out of the hands of the kids. You're really taking the game out of the hands of the kids there. That's 2 penalties that he's gotten out of timeouts that have cost his team 30 yards.
Yeah, I'm guessing the athletic director is going to be having an appointment with them next week. Unfortunately, Fulton's probably trying to turn around a program, but if he doesn't get himself under control, he's going to end up losing his job, and certainly not setting a good example for the kids here at Northridge.
I feel bad for these Northridge players. That is embarrassing. When it boils down to it, that is embarrassing. To have your coach give up 30 yards for you, coming out of timeout, saying stuff to the officials, you just can't do that. You cannot do that in high school sports, in any level of sports. The coach should not be the one to lose it for your team.
Sometimes young coaches, and I don't know how old coach is, but sometimes you grow up in the culture of watching baseball managers kick dirt at the officials and get tossed out and that whole kind of thing. But high school, there's absolutely no place for it. Sportsmanship has to rule the day.
Well, regardless, Martins will go into victory formation. The clock starts prematurely yet again. Mustang football brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan, Northeast Colorado's hometown savings and loan in Fort Morgan and Brush. The clock running now with 40 seconds left. Northridge electing not to call their final timeout, as Fort Morgan looks to come away here with a 24-13 victory. Martins again takes another knee. I believe he'll have one more that he'll have to take. Nope. No, they won't start it. The 25-second clock is going to not expire before the game clock does. So Fort Morgan comes into Greeley and will walk away with a 24-13 win over the Northridge Grizzlies. As next week, Fort Morgan will host Fort Lupton. That's a homecoming game, something that Fort Morgan's familiar with, as they play homecoming spoiler here again tonight. The clock hits zeros. It is official, 24-13, the final score here at District 6 Stadium in Greeley. We'll come back and wrap everything up for you here on B106 and B106.com.